This is Barry Zalma speaking for Claim School Incorporated's blog, Zalma on Insurance. Today, we speak of Claims Commandment II, Thou shalt always conduct a thorough investigation. This is the second in a series of 15 claims commandments that I believe must be followed by every insurance claims professional. This one deals with the need to conduct a full and thorough investigation of every claim. Investigation must be considered a search for truth. It is an art form where facts are established. It has been defined by the state of California, for example, as follows, quote, investigation means all activities of an insurer or its claims agent related to the determination of coverage, liabilities, or nature and extent of loss, or damage for which benefits are afforded by an insurance policy, obligations or duties under a bond, and other obligations or duties arising from an insurance policy or bond. Close quote. This is California Code of Regulations 10 CFR 2695.2K. Courts will not subject an insurance company to a choice between liability under a bad faith failure to investigate theory for publication of a denial of coverage without an adequate investigation. Liability can be imposed for a constructive denial, imposed after the insurer has conducted a more thorough investigation that confirms an earlier determination of no coverage on the theory of delay coupled with a wrongful intent, and therefore it is absolutely necessary that investigations be conducted immediately and thoroughly. Courts, state statutes, and regulations require that an insurer complete a thorough investigation before it decides the resolution of a claim for property damage, bodily injury, personal injury, or for defense and or indemnity under a liability insurance policy. Initial conclusions based on a bare reading of a lawsuit or initial investigation interview are not enough. Rather, the insurer is required to perform a thorough investigation before deciding on a claim. Even though an insurance company is entitled to make a thorough investigation to determine whether there is coverage under its policy of insurance, the company acts at its peril in refusing to defend its insured. If it is subsequently determined that the company erroneously denied coverage, the company will be liable for damages for breach of its agreement under the policy, but if done in good faith, it will not be required to pay exemplary damages, just contract damages. Insurers should conduct their thorough investigation as soon as possible. If a defense is required before the investigation can be completed, the prudent insurer will provide a defense to the insured under a reservation of rights, including a reservation to withdraw the defense and seek reimbursement for monies expended in providing the defense under the reservation. When an insurer denies or delays payment of a policy benefits due to the existence of a genuine dispute with its insured or where coverage is fairly debatable as to the existence of coverage, the insurance company will usually find it is not liable in bad faith, although it may be liable for breach of contract. One court, in fact, gave the following instruction to a jury that is informative to all claims personnel, quote, in determining whether or not an insurance company had a genuine dispute as to whether or not a loss was covered, you may consider among the following: 1. Whether the insurance company was guilty of misrepresenting the nature of the investigation. 2. Whether the insurance company adjusters and investigators lied during their depositions or to the insured. 3. Whether the insurance company dishonestly selected its experts. 4. Whether the insurance company experts were unreasonable And 5, whether the insurance company failed to conduct a thorough investigation. This is a decision called McCoy versus Progressive West, which was decided on February 4, 2009 by the California Court of Appeal. An insurer has a duty to conduct an appropriate and careful investigation prior to making a decision on a claim. However, if after conducting a thorough investigation of the facts and circumstances giving rise to the claim, the insurer can reasonably conclude that the claim is fairly debatable or questionable, there can be no bad faith, even if incorrectly, but in good faith, the insurer refused to pay the claim. The same requirement of a thorough investigation applies to first-party property claims like fire, lightning, windstorm, and hail damage to property that is the subject of the insurance. So how do you conduct a thorough investigation? It begins with the investigative interview, which is a structured conversation between a trained and experienced interviewer and a person who has no training in the interview. It is not an interrogation. It is not the stuff of spy films, police investigations, or prisoner of war camps. Interviews happen everywhere. Interviewing is performed by almost everyone. Since interviewing is an art as well as a science, the most effective interview is one performed by someone with knowledge of the art and science of interviewing. Investigation to gather information is partially an artistic endeavor. The art is supplemented with scientific technique obtained from criminal investigators and professional psychologists, but is performed by individuals without thinking about what it is they are doing. The art of investigation must be honed until it becomes second nature, much as a skilled typist does not think where to put his or her fingers while typing. The police science of interrogation draws heavily upon human nature and the skills of the conversationalist. The art of uncovering the truth by a claims person draws heavily from the police sciences without the power and implication of a badge, because the interrogation is formal in a confined space and conducted by a person in authority like a police officer or a lawyer examining a witness under oath in court. The techniques used are more formal and controlled than an interview as part of an insurance investigation, which seems more like just a conversation between neighbors. Insurance investigators do not have the power of state investigators. They are compelled to get the information they need by intelligence, wit, skill, and experience. They listen carefully. They put people at ease. The skill of the professional causes the person being investigated to want to give information to the investigator. The most important skill of the claims professional is to cause the person being investigated to want to give information to the claims professional that the claims professional needs, believing that once he does so, his claim will be paid. The insured who believes honest and thorough responses to the claims professional will then easily obtain the benefits of the insurance that was promised by the policy. So to conduct a thorough investigation, the claims investigator should at a minimum do the following. Read the loss notice and policy of insurance. If a lawsuit has been filed, read the lawsuit in conjunction with the policy wording. Interview the person insured, preferably, if not always, in person. obtain a recorded statement from the person insured concerning the facts of the loss. Interview and obtain a recorded statement from every independent witness. Interview and obtain a recorded statement from the claimant if suit has not been filed. If suit has been filed, interview the claimant with the attorney for the claimant present about the factual basis of the suit. View the scene of the incident. Photograph it if possible. Videotape it if not. Obtain all documents that have relevance to the claim, like the insured's copy of the policy, the police or fire report if any, medical records, financial records, the application for insurance, contracts if any between the insured and the claimant, all other records that might be relevant to the claim and policy, and consult with necessary experts like investigative engineers, coverage counsel, defense counsel, medical professionals, forensic accountants, and all other experts that might be relevant to the claim and the policy. If it appears that there is coverage for the claim loss, the claims person must advise the insured of the insurer's decision immediately. If it appears there is no coverage, the claims professional must consult with management to review the facts gathered by the thorough investigation before a decision is made, and once a decision is made, the claims professional must so advise the insured. Failure to conduct a thorough investigation is a breach of the promises made by the policy of insurance to provide defense and/or indemnity to the person insured. Failure can also result in the insurer being sued for the tort of bad faith and for breach of contract. Insurers must, to comply with current law, conduct a detailed investigation of the facts of the loss in the policy's acquisition, make a determination of the expectations of the insured and the insurer at the time the policy was acquired, make a determination of the purposes for which the policy was acquired, make an examination of all communications between the insurer and the insured or their representatives, and if the investigation is not conducted as required, the insurer will invariably face suit for breach of contract and the tort of bad faith. The thorough investigation requirement first enunciated by the California Supreme Court in Egan v. Mutual of Omaha and 1979 decision of the California Supreme Court is essential when attempting to interpret a disputed policy of insurance or a disputed factual situation. In Egan, the Supreme Court concluded that, quote, an insurer cannot reasonably and in good faith deny payments to its insured without thoroughly investigating the foundation for its denial, close quote. This video was adapted from my blog, Zalma on Insurance, which is available free to anyone who clicks on zalma.com/blog, and is also available as a video on rumble.com and on youtube.com. If you view this video on Rumble, please click on the Rumble button, and if you view it on YouTube, please click on the like button. If you found this video to be interesting or useful to you or your colleagues, please tell them about it so that they too can subscribe to the blog and the videos, and also seek out whether they have an interest in my locals community or in my Substack publications. Thank you for your attention.